the Cam Newton podcast. What's it called? Something Fridays?
Funky Fridays.
Funky Fridays, Freestyle Friday, something like that.
Not Freestyle.
Freestyle Friday is crazy. Something funky. It's something.
Something a nigga named Cameron came up with.
Right, pretty much. But he had Charleston White on, and the interview's only been out for like 2-3 days, and this shit's at like it's at like 2 million. It's probably it was at 2 million earlier today. It's probably at 2.1 now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
as we speak,
it's up. What's it at right now?
2.3.
I knew it, and that was just a couple hours ago when I looked at it.
And that's what we see. The backside is probably at 2.5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's probably at 2.5. Yeah, but it's just crazy. It went ridiculously viral, of course, just because when does Charleston White not go viral?
Right.
But honestly, this is where we can talk about this because did y'all watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I already talked about it.
I watched a good majority of it. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on LOI.
Yeah, we talked a little bit.
All right, well, y'all can cover it a little bit here. Well, that's kind of perfect. If y'all talk about it on LOI every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Watch that, get it on there because I stopped it, as you can see, maybe
18 minutes in.
18 minutes in.
I thought the nigga was disgraceful.
And the reason
Which one? The nigga with the bagpipes or the nigga that hates niggas?
The nigga.
Charleston.
Oh, you thought he was disgraceful?
Yeah, man. Like,
it was just too much.
It's just like it's redundant at this point.
Okay. Now the
You know
thing,
what I mean?
So yeah, I couldn't watch this because I have a problem with Cam Newton. I really have this problem deep in my soul where I couldn't watch it because for 18 minutes as I was watching this, I have heard almost all these talking points from Charleston White. So I'm like, I'm not learning shit new right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just
previously on Charleston White for the first half.
I just couldn't stop thinking about how Cam Newton just stopped playing football to be a podcaster, and it infuriates me.
Well, he didn't. I don't think he stopped playing. I think he was.
I went on a deep dive on why Cam Newton stopped playing football and started podcasting because it's been driving me fucking crazy.
Okay.
And this, I mean, I'm serious. So I'm gonna tell y'all why it really irritates me. It's just because
he said, "Shut up."
So
and
he
catch.
stopped playing. He wasn't.
He stopped playing. It's a twofold thing. He stopped playing, and then there's also a point of he's become so big of a personality. He has to. He's a headache for an organization now because he's such a big just personality now.
Public figure.
Yeah.
Public figure that he's a headache for a corporation. If he's not starting, which they wouldn't start him because he's been out of the league for a couple of years. The whole 40,000 people are going to be chanting, "Put Cam in" at every game. Every interview, reporters are going to ask the coach, "Why aren't you playing Cam Newton?" It's going to be like he's literally like just a liability. Mind you, Cam Newton's bringing a bag too. There's going to be 1 million jerseys sold and all this other stuff. But it just infuriates me though, just because it's like Cam Newton was really that nigga in football. He was really that nigga. He was like...
He was that nigga?
For a brief period. Yeah.
For a brief period in college. I watched this nigga play in college, and I'm not even a super sports fan, so y'all can correct me. I looked up some of this nigga's stats. The nigga's stats are crazy. You know what I'm saying? He was doing amazing things. This is a nigga that was out here dominating shit. Even
as a black man, in a white man's position,
a young black man, professional, poised, you know what I'm saying? He had no schemes. He was for the kids.
No tattoos.
No clean shaven.
Yeah.
Bro, this nigga was that nigga for real. Like, he was everything that you can imagine that you would want in the perfect all-star.
And this was like 2005?
That was college. No, 2011 was like he graduated. Yeah, this was like 2015-ish.
2015?
16.
It wasn't super long ago.
No, wait. It wasn't. It might not even been that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
We're talking about Cam Newton?
Bro, that undefeated season that he had and then lost in the Super Bowl for North Carolina, the nigga was undefeated, bro. The shit was crazy.
Full season.
This shit was crazy. That was the year the dabbing. He was dabbing on every touchdown.
He was dabbing all the time.
It was insane outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was good. It wasn't that he wasn't just flashy. The nigga was winning.
Yeah.
He was beating everybody.
Yeah.
So it drives me crazy when a nigga that's that good at his sport and then just doesn't get the chip and gives it up. That irritates me. It's just something about that shit that bothers me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
How many more good years does he have left in him right now?
Well, I don't know because he's like 33 and they be talking to him like he's old now, even though we know Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's literally the greatest quarterback of all time.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like he's 33. He could probably get out there, but he hasn't played. You know what I'm saying? Just like 𝙾 talks about, if he were to go back, he's like, it'll take me 1 to 2 seasons just to catch up to the speed that these niggas are playing at.
And that's just to get on rhythm.
That's just to get on rhythm.
That's not even to perform at an elite level.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like he could probably play, but he'd probably be going through the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
Going through the motions, got to feel it.
So yeah, man. So like I started watching interviews. He was on the Pivot podcast a year ago, and he did a lot of conversations.
Back when they was doing that.
Oh yeah, that shit's.
Yep.
Damn, that's not even a podcast no more.
Nope.
Damn, I forgot. I didn't even think about that when I was watching this.
We might have to start covering like what happened in that situation.
Because we quickly went over.
Yeah,
we didn't go into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, in this thing, he pretty much go to the part.
We should look.
Is that a timestamp? Was that a timestamp that I sent on why he quit? Or was that just the interview?
That's just the interview.
That's just the interview.
Yeah,
all right, so long story short, one of the things that really bothered me that he said in his interview is that he was saying that his impact, he said, what's more important, a championship or an impact? He believes his impact is more important. But then he started to
him or to us?
To him.
Okay.
To him.
Then he started naming other people like AI, Vic, Charles Barkley. None of these people have
niggas that was good with no rings.
With no rings.
Niggas that were good with no rings. But you know what? They also played their full career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's nothing to show for it. That's not a flex.
That's not a. But at least they played their entire career. This nigga played for like 3 to 5 years. It's like what the fuck? Like that shit pisses me the fuck off. It's just like you just stopped. You didn't get injured. Yeah. You just stopped. You became hard to work with. This is when I always knew Cam Newton was always going to be a fucking problem. When he was winning in North Carolina, bro, on that undefeated season, Cam always struck me as the type of person that was more concerned with what he was going to be wearing to the press conference after than winning the game. He just was like, that seemed to be more of a bigger deal than winning, but he was winning at the time. So it was fine. It was like, I think his outfits are goofy, but at the same time, this nigga's undefeated. Who gives a fuck what I think?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like when you're
wear a skirt, nigga.
But when you're still losing or you're losing worse than you've ever lost, and then it's like you get to the fucking post interview and you just you want to casually tell us about what your outfit is. Fuck your outfit and fuck your hat, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I don't like. I just didn't like that shit.
Now's not the time.
Like a nigga who has a purpose, like a guy, this talent, nigga, that you just like watching squander away. Then you're gonna tell us about these other people's impact. Okay, cool. We see these other niggas' impact. You announcing your impact. There's a certain level of like, what are we talking about right now? Because you can't be the one that says, I changed everything. There's a bunch of Cams out here. Other people have to say that for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Unless you're a rapper.
Unless you're a rapper, but even rappers, people tell them that.
Or unless it was just so blatant to where it's like, yeah, you're right. You get what I mean? Like, it's not just so blatant. You don't just... see kids like, oh, that's Cam Newton.
Yeah, bro. It's already, first of all, there's not even enough quarterbacks for us to even be able to see like 25% of the quarterbacks would need to be playing with Cam style. And that's I don't see that. You know what I'm saying?
And then like he named, like even when you say AI, like AI was so distinct.
He was a
like,
cultural
as a
icon.
figure. Like, nigga, you was just a nigga who was great at his sport. You know what I mean?
Culturally, he's the most attached to the dab. Outside of football, obviously, like the football culture, but I'm talking like AI was more than just connecting there. He was in hip hop. Like
Cam was big for football, but he did play 11 seasons. And in football, that's good.
That's good in football?
Yeah.
Nigga, people get injured crazy in football.
He didn't get injured,
you get paid to get into car
crashes.
crashes.
I know.
Yeah, he didn't get injured though.
But I hear what you're saying though, because
and he hasn't played in like 3 years.
My frustration with him was the way that he kept that talk after he started playing bad, and he was still doing all that extra shit. And it was like, nigga, you're not doing.
Just go to work.
Just go to work now. You know what I'm saying? Just go to work now at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I think Cam is only 33, bro.
He's 34.
34. So it's like.
It's not.
Niggas he should be like trying to phase out now. I don't know. It's just fucking weird. You know what I'm saying? He should have got a championship.
His career definitely took a weird turn.
It took a weird turn.
And you got it's also football. Like the longer you playing this, the more risk that you about to take. Like
that's true.
Him playing 2 more seasons could be the difference between him being cool at 50 and him like having shaky hands and shit.
But it wasn't that though. He didn't have that. He wasn't being faced with that. That could always happen in football for sure. I get what y'all saying on that, where that can always happen.
So it's like, what's the point? Like, why am I go out there and put my body on the line for nothing again?
Because he's got that, that competitive drive in him. He still got that fire that he never put out. He actually just ignored the fire and pivoted over to something else. So he's like saying all these things. I was getting, because midway through this little clip, he's like, they're asking like, nigga, what about the fire, nigga? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a competitive nigga, we let's just talk about the fire.
Yeah, for sure.
He was like, of course it's still there. The nigga started yelling like, yeah, you know I get hyped when it's like, I'm like, oh, this nigga's like.
He started getting flashbacks of the green.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this nigga all of a sudden was behind his center. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so you have that fire. I think he's going to regret it. You think he says a lot of things now to where like, my impact is more important. You trying to get me to lean into your impact. I refuse to lean into it because I just don't see it enough.
Niggas in the hood is not wearing skirts and playing bagpipes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Your impact wasn't big enough for me to be able to be like, you're right. Your impact really was that phenomenal to where I can see why you would step away. You didn't have that. But
like, did he have more impact than like a Troy Polamalu?
Cam Newton,
Troy's
pure impact. Pure impact, not just on the field.
Troy Polamalu's a legend, bro. That's a Hall of Famer. You talking about a Hall of Famer?
That's a different level.
Yeah.
Cam
That's
Newton,
head and shoulders, nigga.
Cam Newton is more like he's like Vince
been.
Carter to me. Like in terms of like just everything. Like Vince Carter was amazing.
You think Cam will even get into the Hall of Fame because he quit so early?
Nah,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think it was just that. I think it was the performance as well. His performance dropped drastically. So it's like.
I think it's because he stopped giving a fuck.
That might be the case.
I feel like maybe there's a clip I didn't see. And if there is a clip that I didn't see, because I'm telling y'all, it's just something about Cam Newton in podcasting. When I see him, I get infuriated because it's a nigga who ignored the fire within him. That bothers me. You know, that shit really bothers me.
Well, first of all, we don't know that. Like,
I do. We don't know that. He said that in that interview. He said it in there. He said the shit is burning still. It's there. He said that.
This is probably how niggas felt when Michael Jordan started playing baseball. Like, nigga, what the fuck are you doing? You the greatest of all time. Please come back and dominate.
I don't know if we can equate it though, because that's Michael Jordan.
Well, you can't compare nobody to Michael Jordan.
It's not always the same, but because he did come back.
Just the discontent with like, nigga, you are wasting good real estate right now. Yeah. You are in your early 30s. You still got a lot of game left in you. Yeah. You could be on that court giving niggas hell. It's the same frustration.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dog.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If he said when Kobe retired, he was just like, you know, it's
my
the time.
fucking body broke down.
Yeah, he's like, it's the time. You know what I'm saying? Like he literally, and that pivot interview was a year ago. In that clip specifically, the nigga said he had the fire a year ago. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period. And I'm sure it hasn't died down any less. I think he's trying to fill it with this thing. And mind you, his podcasting is doing good. Like obviously the nigga's doing numbers and shit like that. But it's like,
dude, like. It's like he can play, but if the coaches don't want him,
at this point, it's too much of a liability.
Yeah. But I get you though. He was a good nigga to root for. Like he was a good player to like. I like Cam. Like, you know what I'm saying, when he was playing, because when he's doing well and he's talking that shit and he's doing for the kids, like you say, he's the perfect. You could make him the face of a league.
And liability is such a. I don't know. It's just like a lazy excuse, really. Like
to quit
liability, or even like somebody saying he's a liability.
I can understand it. Because you also got like, I've never managed no fucking $1 billion team either.
Yeah.
But so that's like another thing. So it's like, that could really cause a lot of issues that I'm not unaware of. But then you also got to remember like the culture, like that team culture. Like the niggas who win championships, these niggas be a team for real. You know what I'm saying?
This shit starts from like summer camp. Nigga, like that's the whole last dance.
What were they doing at fucking Phil Jackson's house? You know, shit.
Yeah. Fucking doing yoga and meditating.
You know what I'm saying? Like these niggas, they're on a different level. And somebody like him, he doesn't bring a bad aura, but he brings so much.
Yes.
Now, because of how much of a personality he is. Yeah. I could see him being, especially and you're 34. You know what I'm saying? I can get me a fresh college graduate right now.
Yeah, that's
just as good as you.
He's got more mileage on him,
and he's running at the same speed that I need him to be now.
Yeah,
if he never stopped, we wouldn't be having that part of the conversation. Because he'd still be in the speed, even if he was losing, he'd still be at game speed. He's not even at game speed because every time I see him, he's smoking cigars. I'm like, you're done for real? Like, you just don't.
No, you inhaling those?
Like, I'm just like, what are we doing right now, bro?
And it's like, how
He
Football's
played one
one of
game of football. His ankle, his Achilles.
It's one of those
falling
games
apart.
that you can't just go to the court and like you know what I'm saying. You can't just go and brush up on your shit like that.
Jump into that.
You can't just jump into that. You got to play full games to get back into that.
Like you kind of got to run into a wall just to prepare for that shit.
Yeah.
Like let me get ready to hurt myself.
He did also say other things in this thing too, so I don't want to discredit. Most of this is just me just like hating on like the fact that I don't even know if it's hate. It's just pure frustration on my end.
You disappointed.
I just did the disappointment of how he like how I interpret it.
But maybe a little bit envy too. Because if you was Cam,
why would I stop,
nigga?
Even if I didn't, what the fuck? I'm not stopping. You know what I'm saying?
Sir, tell me when to play and where to play. That's where you talking to the owner.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro.
Tell me when and where. I'll throw it.
It depends. Now, if I hear I do believe that the NFL is like on some high level slave auction shit too. I am one of those niggas. Let's be clear. I'm saying,
so you're kind of torn. It's like I want you to go back to the plantation, but you're going back to the plantation
for sure.
Definitely
I'm definitely torn on that too as well.
And that's probably
part of it.
A strong reason why I think he's not in the league.
Yeah,
it's
and
a lot of white owners.
Yeah.
And Cam is a nigga who's even a more nigga now because his antennas is grown out and shit. You feel me? He's connected to the gods more.
You
know what I'm saying?
Appropriating Irish culture.
I don't know, but it just
nigga nappy headed now.
It's just, and maybe it's also the type of content that I see him doing. Like when Brittany Renner's popping for talking about how many men she slept with, I just see you doing an interview with Brittany Renner.
So you're just a fan of Cam and you just want him to do more and be better.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah, man. Just say that.
You over here podcasting with Brittany Renner talking about relationships. Nigga, what are you doing, nigga? You're Cam fucking Newton. What are we talking about right now?
If you don't pass that bitch a ball.
Yeah, what the fuck? Nigga, you shouldn't even be associating with this shit.
What would it take for you to respect his pivot? What would it take?
Success.
He does take a lot of accountability for not playing football anymore. Okay. So let me also make sure I say that too, because I watched several clips and then he takes accountability almost all the time. I'm just a nigga that's still irritated. It's just what it is. So, but it's not.
You were concerned compared to
but it's not like in most of these interviews he wasn't taking accountability because he 100% was. So let me make sure I say that as well too. But I don't know what it would take. I don't know. I think
maybe that's just his pivot.
I'm not at the point mentally where I can see the vision for him yet.
He might have just found a new love.
But if he pops out with it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing, and then I'll be able to recognize it when I see it.
Okay.
But right now, he's podcasting. Just
I think
whatever.
it's just because it's like who he's talking to. And it's just like the overall marketing of him.
Yeah,
because it's like if he was talking to Q-Tip. It's like, oh shit, Cam didn't talking to Q-Tip, like most deaf and shit. That's pretty cool.
You're not mad at it
to leave,
but that just proves how like selfish the concern is. Like, it's not that you care about Cam,
right?
You care about what you want to see Cam do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like that's all it is. Like Cam is probably the happiest he's ever been in the last 10 years.
Low key.
So none of this means anything. You know what I'm saying?
I'm keeping child support low. I'm interviewing the whores. Like this is amazing.
He might have found his fucking pocket. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts. It's all that. And in my mind, I still have this thing attached to where it's like, if he had a Super Bowl, none of this would bother me.
Would bother you at all? Yeah,
at all. It would literally would not bother me.
You feel like he deserved it?
I feel like he deserved it.
Yeah,
and he didn't get it.
I feel the same way about Kevin Durant sometimes. Like, I just feel like the gods of basketball hate this nigga.
I feel that, yeah.
That shit is kind of like just with his career. There's a lot of accountability he needs to take for like the unfortunate.
He does not take that much. But Cam definitely does.
But there's a lot of like just like.
But
the
he got his chip though. He got his chip at the end of the day.
But it don't really count.
It's with Warriors.
With Golden State.
It's niggas like Chris Paul.
But he had to team up with a hot yellow nigga.
It's niggas like Chris Paul and Harden who ain't never going.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's never.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul's getting there. He's up there. He's like, I don't know how many more seasons does he really have?
Got about 1-2.
Yeah, he's got about 1 or 2 more seasons to where
he got a 1-2. Yeah, he got a 1-2. He got a jab.
He's got 1 or 2 more seasons to where his role is just to be mean to niggas. Hard ass screens and foul.
Yeah, straight up psychological warfare.
Like I can't go as quick as I can, so let me just irritate you.
What does it say, LeBron?
LeBron is 38. Yeah,
but LeBron is still performing. You know what I'm saying?
But LeBron took care of his body.
Yeah,
to the point where his body's like.
They do say he was made in the lab
right
nigga.
now. Yeah.
God damn.
But I understand where you're coming from on the Cam Newton thing.
Yeah,
I understood a lot of what you were talking about with the way he was talking while he wasn't performing. That's when I was like, my nigga, just Come on.
Shut the fuck
know
up.
when not to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And it's just the fucking the outfits were out of control. The outfits used to really just fucking drive.
would it have bothered you if he was actually? But
I just thought this shit was so goofy.
Would it have
man.
bothered you if he was like still killing shit?
Yeah, but it would have weighed a lot less.
That's what I'm saying.
Would have weighed a lot less.
It would have been like Dennis Rodman, like, yeah, the nigga's
what I'm saying.
a fucking freak, but he's a freak of nature too. Like,
exactly.
he's a freak in all areas.
It's like, he's gonna grab 50 rebounds, but he might come to halftime in a wedding dress.
I don't know if it's the American in me. It's just something about a nigga getting championships.
Right.
It just,
That's a fact.
Just changes me.
That's
You know
a
what I'm
fact.
saying?
Yeah.
It changes
That's a
how I
You
view a
respect
nigga.
pedigree.
I respect a nigga getting rings.
That's a
That's
fact.
just what it comes down to.
That's a fact.
Even though some niggas get rings and they broke as fuck, I just respect a nigga getting the championship.
Yeah.
That's it. Period.
Because I know you had that dog in you one time.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Like,
We talked about it on LOY one day. Y'all niggas thought I was crazy. It was two options. It was like 300 mil or you never win an NBA championship, or 50 mil and you get like 2 rings. I'm taking the 50 mil with 2 rings.
Yo, yeah.
I want the rings, nigga.
Yeah,
that
there's-
wasn't the argument.
It was something similar
No,
to
that-
that.
It was, but
That
I
was
think
the gist of it.
It was the
But-
gist of it.
and
That was like,
I've
it wasn't,
heard
you
those
know.
That was the
arguments
gist of it,
before
and I
anyway.
didn't change my mind. You still are crazy.
Yeah.
No, and there's some people that are like that. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
how I am, though,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's some people that are like that. I would probably lean that way too. I'm about to get in the gold. You know what I'm saying? Like the ship. You know what I'm saying?
It was based because we was talking about basketball, and was like, you're the only one that connected to basketball. If it was
But
if you didn't
even-
put it in something else, a different context, maybe.
Even
But
football though, like I don't play football,
I know
but
what
if
you
I
mean.
had the same options, I'm taking the championship.
You're
nigga.
lying.
I swear to God.
You have to change the mindset with football because the money that's being touched in football, for the most part, it's not even comparable between basketball and football.
It's not comparable.
Unless you're that nigga.
You literally
Yeah.
have to take the money in football.
That's true.
At
That
all
is-
time.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's not enough of that bitch to
unless-
go around.
unless-
It's like 82 niggas on a team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. Unless
They
you're
not all
that
getting paid the
nigga,
same.
like unless you're like
Yeah,
that
some
star, the 3 to 4 stars that they have on that
light skinned
team.
nigga with the gay brother or the other nigga.
It's like
Travis
we know who
Kelce,
you are with your
Pat
helmet
Mahomes.
on. You getting paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and obviously Tom Brady's one of those niggas. He would take pay cuts just to keep getting championships.
Just keep the team.
Just
going.
to keep like his nigga, like
just to keep my same team
But that's the
members.
thing. Once
yeah.
you get to a certain amount of money and you're doing things with it, then it's like, yo, we here for the game, nigga. Like,
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. 50 M's, that's enough for me.
No,
Bro,
it's
you can-
not.
It's enough.
No,
And now,
it's
if you
not.
would have said
You can
10
do
M's,
so
if-
much
you
with
can do a
50.
lot.
if you
You can do a
said
lot.
10 M's, 2 championships, 400 million, no championships, maybe the 400 million, but 50 is enough.
yeah.
50's a lot.
50's a lot of
50's a
fucking
50's a
money,
lot of
nigga.
money. 50's a lot of
50
money.
M's and 2 championships, plus
Yeah.
you get the notoriety and the status of getting the championships. Like,
Yeah.
you was the nigga.
And look up Cam Newton's net worth because it's stupid. He was getting so much fucking money, bro, when he was in the NBA, in the NFL.
That nigga could probably buy
It was
Ireland
crazy. It
and
was
get all the dresses he needs.
Right now.
75
million.
I feel like
was
Just
through-
type
that
in
was-
Cam Newton's
That was through
contract.
this time. Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah, I feel like he was well over.
Yeah, type
100.
in his contract because this shit don't be guaranteed.
Oh, that's true.
Them shit's not like NBA contracts.
Yeah, they don't be guaranteed. Career earnings, 134 million.
Yeah, so I knew that 75 was wrong.
It's career earnings.
That's just the career earnings. That has nothing to do with his.
That has nothing to do with
Is that after tax?
anything outside.
And he had a lot of shit. He was getting sponsored by all the clean shit. He was for the kids. That
Yeah.
shit was crazy.
Yeah.
He literally has a show now, and I think the cigars he's smoking is promo.
Those are his, I think, too. Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are promo.
Yeah.
Wasn't he getting fined for throwing too many balls in the stands
He
for
was,
the fans?
he was paying the fine every
Yeah.
time. The nigga was getting so, bruh. He was literally a golden child,
Yeah,
bruh.
nah, like he was for the people. Nigga.
Bruh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
shit was crazy, dog.
Sheesh.
I feel you.
So
And
yeah,
y'all talking
I
about
literally couldn't focus on the interview because of that
Yeah.
fact. I couldn't. I
Yeah.
said it just burning.
We didn't even talk
me.
about Charleston. We just spent 24 minutes on Cam Newton.
Yeah, bro. Well, I'm glad y'all. So it's still gonna get covered. It's gonna be on
Yeah,
LOI. So
yeah.
we just gotta make sure. I'll make sure I pull that clip out so that one. But yeah, what's next then?